Okay, so today we are going to work on animating our minions. The first thing that you need to do is you need to go into the camera icon and you need to take a picture of your minion on the green screen. So you will notice that I already earlier had taken a picture of my minion on a piece of green paper, and there's a section in the room that you will take that picture on. After you've taken the picture, I want you to look at the picture. So for example, I did one of my minion ones here, this one actually, of my background. And look at it, it is upside down, and then it also needs to be cropped. So the first thing that you need to do when you get in here is those little lines up at the top. You'll notice next to where it says all photos, you're going to touch that. And it brings you to this screen. At the very bottom, you're going to notice next to the wand, there's a little square, and it has arrows around it. You want to touch that. Now, the next thing that you're going to notice are these little corner, extra corner white parts. If you touch on the corner, it's going to move it bigger or smaller. This is how we crop it. So I would like to crop this. And crop is where we bring it in smaller, like this, to get to what we really want it to look like. So I bring it in this way. I have a little bit of my table. Now I didn't do the best head-on shot where if you have it exactly over it, and that's okay. The next thing you're going to notice in the bottom left corner, right above cancel, there's a white square with a little arrow on the top of it. If you touch that, it rotates it for you. And now there's my background. So I might want to just adjust the top here. It does cut off some of my picture, but that's okay. After you've done that, if you want, you can hit the little wand. It may brighten it for you or not, or fix it if you'd like. You're going to touch the done button. And it saves your photo. And now your photo is nice and edited. The next thing that we need to do is we need to hit the home button, and it takes us back to our home screen. And we need to go into the Superimpose app, which is the app that has the hot air balloon. So you'll touch that app, and you are brought into the app here. And then the next step is you want to touch the two squares in the upper left-hand corner. So I'm going to touch those two squares. And it says import a background. Well, we are going to be working on making our minions not have anything around it. So we just want to see the color of our minion. I'm going to choose pick a color, and it doesn't matter whatever color you have. And I'm just going to touch the check mark. There's my color. So I have a big blue background. Doesn't matter what color you have. Now I want to bring my minion in. So I'm going to touch the two squares at the top again. And it's going to ask now if I want to bring in the foreground. So remember, the background is in the back and the foreground is in the front. I'm going to touch my photos, and it might ask you, would you like to access your photos? And you always say, okay. So there are my three pictures on here. I'm going to grab this one of me here. And what I'm going to do is click choose in the bottom right. And in comes the picture of my minion. So if I want to zoom in, you can do the two-finger touch or pinch to make it smaller. If you touch on your picture, you can make it bigger if you need to, but we're going to leave it this size. This size is fine. The next thing that you want to do is touch the mask button. So you'll see that mask is the third one on the very bottom. So I'm going to touch mask, and automatically underneath the eraser on the top right is a little magic wand. And that magic wand is what I'm going to touch only the areas with the green. So if I touch the areas with the green, it takes the green screen away, which is pretty cool. So I might zoom in here and touch that area with the green, and it actually fixed it all for me. So if you did too much, like if I touch the face, oh no, What you want to do is then you're going to come up and you're going to touch that upper left corner. You'll see a little arrow going to the left with a mask, and it's the undo button. Once you have your minion, all with the green background gone, you are then going to touch on the bottom left inside the app. There's a little house. So touch that house button. And now you'll notice at the very top you see the two squares. Next to it is a square with an arrow going to the right. So you're going to touch that button, and it's going to ask you, what do you want to do? Well, I want to save this. So I'm going to click the mask as a PNG, and it's going to save it for me. Now you'll hit your home button, and we're out of that, and you can then go to your photos button. And there, sorry for the little button, there you'll see I have my image and there's no green screen. It's all just white in the background, and that's what we want. So it's there, I'm happy, and I hit the home button again. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go into our animation app. And the animation app is the one that starts with an A and has the octopus. This is the Do Ink app. First time that you went into this app, you're going to have a bunch of things pop up. You'll just X out of that. What you want to do is you're going to touch the plus button on the very right, and it comes up with three things: new composition, new drawing, import a clip. We want to make a composition, so you're going to touch the very top one, and here you have a blank canvas, just like your piece of paper before. You're going to try up at the top, touch the camera button, and it asks, would you like to access your photos? You'll hit OK and touch all. What you want to do is bring in the background first. So I'm going to touch my background, and that's the picture I wanted. I edited it already, so I'm going to touch Use, and look, it fits nicely on here. If you see a little bit of the white and you don't want to show any of the white, you can just pull the corner. You can make it smaller or you can make it bigger. I recommend just making it just so it goes over it just a tiny, tiny bit. And you can move it. Just do not touch the green dot in the center. You'll find out why in just a few minutes. Now we want to bring in our minion into this background. So I'm going to touch the camera button again. I'm going to touch all. And I want to bring in my minion that does not have a green screen. So I'm going to touch on that minion, and it looks black. I know, don't worry about that. You're going to touch Use, and look, there's my minion. So again, do not touch the green dot yet. I will teach you what to do with that soon. If your minion is too big, like mine looks a little too big, I'm going to touch on the arrow on the side. Not arrow, sorry, the little side icons, and I'm going to just slowly, uh-oh, my minion got a little squished. There we go. Bring her a little bit smaller. Just do it nice and slow. Perfect. That's the size I wanted. So without touching the green dot, I'm going to just move my minion wherever I want it to be. So I'm going to have her start here. And now, if you want to make your minion move, what you can do is you touch the green dot and you can draw wherever you want your minion to be. So my minion is talking here, and then I'm going to bring my minion back. Maybe my minion goes up here and goes and talks to this table, and then my minion is going to come back and maybe go to the back of the room and walk off the page. So you notice my minion went off the page there. The green dot is the start, and the red dot is the bottom, the end of it. So if you want to see what you did, what you're going to do is at the top, there's a little play button. You'll touch the play button, and I can see my minion move, which is pretty cool. Now touch the screen and then click the done button to get out of there. So that's the nice part. If you want to add a little bit more to it, you can touch the wheel on the bottom right, and maybe I think my minion's moving too fast. So the bottom, there's a little circle that you can make it faster or you can slow it down. So I think I want to make mine a little bit slower. And with that, I'm going to then try and see how it looks by being slow and press the play button. My minion's still a little bit fast, right? So I might slow down my minion a little bit more. And let's see. That's good enough for me. My minion's talking and moving around. Okay, so maybe if you make a little oops with your minion and you touch the minion by accident, you moved it and you're like, oh no, I didn't mean to move my minion. So what you'll do then is you're going to touch the little, there's a little square with an arrow in it, and then there's a reset button, which is a square filled in inside of a bigger square. So if you touch that there, my minion goes back to its size, and then it also gets the green dot back in the center. So all you need to do is just move your minion back to being small, whatever you'd like it to be, and then bring it back to that dot. So I'm going to have my minion this time maybe walk around, and maybe she's going to do a little bit of a flip. So I'm going to draw with her. She's going to flip this way, and I'm going to move her this way and press play. And if I touch the screen and click done, that's how I can bring her back there. So if you want, there's a lot of different things that you can do. I can make my minion a little bit smaller and press play, and then maybe she looks like she's going into the back, like that. So again, if you want to slow it down, you touch the wheel, and then maybe I'm going to slow her down this way and press play. Yay, she kind of moves this way. Perfect. So after that, my minion, I'd like to make the movie a little bit longer. There's an arrow that's pointing up, kind of like a triangle pointing up. If I point the arrow down, then you'll see that I'm able to look at my movie as only 1 second and a little over long. So I want to make it about 3 seconds. So you'll notice down here that the red line can go to 3 seconds. Well, I'm going to touch and hold my finger on that triangle, and I'm going to move it all the way to 3 seconds. There's my minion's 3 seconds. Now I got to touch the background, touch and hold the orange triangle, and I'm going to drag that to 3 seconds as well. Now let's play. My minion's moving for 3 seconds, and that helps with the speed too. When I'm done, I click done, and then I'm going to go and touch the gallery button, and there's my movie. I'm going to press the share button, which is the square that has the arrow pointing up. I'm going to touch share, and I'm going to then play the video, touch the video button, and I'm going to do a small one, and it's going to compile my video for me. Now it's going to ask you, where do you want to save it? So we're going to then save it to our Google Drive, but it also helps if you just save it to your camera roll. So we'll save it to our camera roll, touch done, hit the button, and if you go back into photos, you'll notice there is your film, and you can press play, and there's your film all set and ready for you. And the next direction will be how to save it to our Google Drives.